Hello and welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Rietta.
And I'm Connie, and we're two spooky cousins. Happy
Ooh.
Halloween.
Mwahaha.
Yes, exactly.
That was terrible. Please ignore that.
Yes, we do in general, Rietta. I ignore you.
And why am I even on here?
I'm just kidding. I
Rude.
would never. I know. So today we thought, it's Halloween. Let's talk about some Halloween traditions, some costumes, some fun shit. Lighten the mood. It's a pretty dark mood out there right now.
It is.
It is Halloween and politics. It makes everything dark. It's a dark, dark world.
It is. And so we're going to lighten it up a little. Or try to, anyway. Connie, are you dressing up for Halloween?
Yes, I am.
What are you being?
I bet you didn't expect that. It's only because we have a Halloween party, and on the card it said costumes are mandatory.
Ooh, it didn't even say required. It said mandatory.
It said something like that.
Stepping it up.
So basically, I am big for making costumes out of stuff that you already have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going classic nerd. I have a bright red bow tie that is Tom's that I'm wearing. I have black suspenders, some jeans, and like a blouse, a white blouse. Got my glasses, which are like normally super nerdy because they're big.
Perfect.
Exactly. And it requires me to buy absolutely nothing, and I'm not putting, like, if it was like a crazy like Halloween party that somebody was hosting, not just like my friend having some friends over for Halloween at her apartment, like it'd be a different story. I don't know. I was just like, I don't need to put in that much effort. I feel like when I have kids, I'm, at least for a few Halloweens, when I can dress them as I like, I might go do like those family costumes, but we'll see.
Yeah. Jackson has a birthday party Sunday, and it's a costume party. And apparently I'm supposed to dress up too, but I think I've got some old costumes laying around, so I'll probably just throw something in together. I'll be like a Viking or something, I'll just throw something together.
You'll be fine.
I'll be fine. And
you'll have to send pictures.
And Jackson's being even the Black Widow movie hasn't come out, but the costumes still came out, which I find kind of funny.
That is.
So he's being like the assassins from the Black Widow movie. Target had the costume, and he saw it, and he's like, "Mom, I want that." And I'm like, "All right, well, that makes it easy because it's all in one, and I don't have to do anything."
Hell yeah. I know my mom used to make those like crazy intricate costumes. And of course she asked me like, "Oh, do you want to learn how to sew so that you can sew your own children's costumes?" And like, I was 15 at the time. Like, I don't want to do anything with anybody. I am a 16-year-old brat who wants to get away from her parents. The goal was never to spend more time.
Was it you that got my Dorothy costume that Grandma made for me? It was either you or Rachel.
Rachel.
Okay. Grandma made me this epic Dorothy costume from The Wizard of Oz.
I remember.
Like, she made the entire dress. She made the apron. Like, it looked identical. It was amazing. I wore it. All I had to buy was, the ruby slippers. And at that time, that was like all the rage, like the glittery shoes. So you just go to like Target, or I don't even know. My mom went somewhere and just bought a pair of glittery shoes, and it was the best. And I know we passed it. I knew it was either you or Rachel because Grandma spent so much time on it, and she made it so perfect that we passed it to somebody else so that I got worn again. Because I think I was a teenager, so I was probably at least 12 or 13, something like that. So there was no way that I was going to be able to wear it again. Yeah. So hopefully it must have been Rachel then. But that's still one of my favorite costumes because it literally looked identical. It was amazing.
Yeah, and it's so funny looking back at some of the costumes my mom made me. At least one people would probably go on a riot for, because I was Pocahontas, and that's not my nationality. But I mean, I was like 5 and it was absolutely adorable. She had all the fringe, she had all of the like little
Love
beaded
it.
detail. My
Hmm.
mom even had a fur coat that she had me like wear and sit on
That's
because it was like
awesome.
cold outside. So of course she's gonna have
Of
me
course.
all bundled up.
Because we never really had a warm Halloween except every once in a while.
Yes, every blue moon, right?
Pretty
But like
much.
let's just say the quality of a homemade costume is wow.
Oh, yeah. So much
But
better.
it's so much time. Some of
It
the
is.
costumes I can't even believe. I'm like, I'm not buying that. That's insane. Like $50 for like a Harry Potter robe. Like I can't do it for one day out of the year. I'm like, okay, some of these are you're not even getting much for
Right.
$50. I think I could go and piece one together for that one with better quality cloth and stuff like that.
Yeah. Costumes have become really expensive. That's like, I was going to, maybe I can throw something together because Black Widow just wears all black. So maybe there's something that I could throw together to match Jackson since he's the assassin. Or
Oh
I
yeah.
could find something on Amazon, but she literally wears all black. So I could probably just, like, I don't even know if I have black jeans, but I have black leggings. So I could put
I
on
was
like
gonna
black
say just wear
leggings
leggings.
and something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean the cost for costumes, especially adult costumes, they're like $100, and you get like 2 tiny pieces of cloth, and you're like, okay, well, what did I just pay for?
Exactly. I think I just am like, this is ridiculous. I don't
It
know.
is.
And it's now one of the reasons I'm like, I should have had my mom teach me how to make costumes.
Now you're wishing she did.
Well, and then now that I want to, of course, she has no time for that. So I would have to go on my own and take like the courses that they have at like Joanne Fabrics or whatever.
Yeah. You know,
Because I mean, it's
Grandma
just
would
following a
want to
pattern.
teach you, but it's kind of hard for her right now, but I'm sure she totally would try to.
Well, you make some runners and a Christmas tree skirt. The runners are good. The Christmas tree skirt's a little eh.
She's not the greatest at sewing. She doesn't have really like steady hands. But I mean, grandma doesn't really anymore either, so.
But haven't you seen all of her curtains? All of her curtains are crazy nice.
And she
That
made
she,
them?
yeah, mm-hmm.
Hmm. I know she used to be really good at not crocheting, but she had like my mom still has a picture that she made hanging up on the wall in our house, and it was like
Yes,
threaded or whatever.
that's needlepoint, isn't it?
Something like that. The one picture is doesn't look as needlepoint as like other stuff. So she must be able to do a couple different things. So maybe I'm
It's
wrong.
sim. It's similar to needlepoint.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's cross stitch. I have no idea. I don't.
Something.
It's something crafty. We come by our craftiness honestly. We
We
have a lot
do.
of crafty ladies in our lives.
We do. And grandma still quilts every week.
I remember one of the dresses my mom made. It was like the reason I picked it out. I remember it was because it was shorter. It was like supposed to be like above the knee, and because it's a pattern, you can make it whatever length you want. And she made it floor length. She was like, "Nope, you're not walking around in that," because it was a lot of different like cutouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, it kind of looked staggered. It was supposed to be like a fairy or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to be just like little layers of like cloth. And my mom was like, no, it's not going to be that short.
No. But since we're talking about being scandalous, that's one thing you can get away with on Halloween is being a little scandalous, bringing out your inner whore.
I mean, and we'll all remember Legally Blonde because that's literally the best scene. And if you don't know what scene I'm talking about, it's where she dresses up like a Playboy bunny. Come on. And everybody else is in regular clothes. It's classic.
And she looks bomb in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
we
just,
know.
oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say. So we know that I know that I've had some pretty scandalous costumes, especially in my college days, and I'm pretty sure everybody has at one point. I mean, maybe not so much the guys, but our lady listeners.
Well, you know what's sad is that this costume is probably the most scandalous costume I've ever worn. Actually, this nerd costume, because the shirt underneath that I'm wearing is see-through, basically.
So you're a sexy nerd.
Yeah, I'm a sexy nerd. Hell.
You should make sure you wear a black lacy bra underneath it.
I was going to, and Tom's like, I don't like that bra. You need a push-up bra. And so then I bought a really pretty, because I couldn't find it in red. They had a red version of it. And of course, it's just not in my size. So I like bought this white lacy one instead. I'm like, fine, whatever.
First of all, you made her spend money when she didn't need to spend money. And second of all, what is wrong with you?
I actually did need bras. So I was like, fine, I'll just get this one. I'll wear this one underneath it. Because the other one was basically there's not really like a cup in it. It's just like black. It's kind of straight across, whatever those are called.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
Wear the push-up one. Wear the push-up one and then put that one over the top of it.
It would look, I would look very bulky.
I know, like I'm kidding.
I think my boobs would look weird. I don't know.
You would look like you had huge ones.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say, yeah, that's a better thing, but not when it looks fake, not when it's just padded. I'm not a teenager trying to pad my bra.
Well, I mean, nobody's going to come up and grab your boob and find out. So.
Tom will.
Oh, but he already knows. Yeah, he already knows, so that doesn't count.
Okay, fine. So,
anyway.
So, COVID and Halloween, what are your thoughts? Are they making you guys do anything stupid?
We haven't got any official word yet, at least not on base. They were showing a demonstration on the news the other day of like passing a piece of candy down a long tube. And I was like,
I saw the same thing. I was like, you guys are fucking ridiculous.
I was like, is that just to create space because you're still touching the piece of candy? Yeah. So I'm not really sure what we're eliminating aside distance. And if you already touched it, what does it matter? I don't know. I thought it looked absolutely ridiculous. I'm hoping they let the kids trick or treat because these kids need something. They need a break. They need some semblance of some kind of normalcy. So I hope they let them trick or treat.
If it makes you feel any better, around here I saw a couple of those trunk or treats.
They are actually having one of those, which I find also very ironic. They're having a trunk or treat at the stadium here, the huge stadium. So you're going to do a trunk or treat at a stadium where a whole bunch of people can come, but the kids can't trick or treat in their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
And what Tom wants to do, because it's on a Saturday, is he wants for us to like sit outside in the Halloween costumes and have like a bonfire going. Ooh. And hand out candy just like outside.
Is he going to be drinking beer at the same time? Because that sounds like ideal.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
It'll probably be Truly's for me, but same difference.
I tried some newer Trulies, and they were really good, just P.S.
The lemonade ones?
Yeah, the lemonade ones are good. And then they started making, like, mixed ones that was, like, black cherry and, like, blueberry raspberry. And I was like, ooh.
Interesting.
The black cherry one was really good.
Lemonade ones are the ones I always go for, but if I see that mix, I will go.
The lemonade ones here are like gold. Like if they have them, they're gone in like 5 seconds because we're on an island, so we only get we only get so many shipments. And the last time I was at the liquor store, I saw that they had like a place for them, so I just asked the guy, I'm like, hey, is there more of these in back? He's like, I got 4 cases and they were gone in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, very intense. So when people get set on things and you have limited, that's kind of what happens. But anyway, enough about alcohol, because we know all the parents are already going to be, boozing on Hallows Eve. We already know that.
I actually really loved this. When I was like a teenager, I babysat this little girl and her mom, and I was like friends with her mom. Mm-hmm. And I loved the way that they trick-or-treated. I'm like, this is bomb. Like, I aspire to be as cool as you when I am an adult. So they had a wagon and like a kid could sit in there, like only one, because then they had a full cooler filled with alcoholic drinks. And they were riding. I was like, this is the way to do it. Then they had like extra, like those heat warmers and stuff. Mm-hmm. To them all like warm. I was like, if I was going to be going trick-or-treating with a kid, a cooler filled with alcohol is for sure the way to go.
Absolutely. I mean, you might as well do something that you like while you're doing it. Why the heck not? I mean, not
Exactly.
that trick or treating is horrible, because it's really not. I actually usually have a really good time with Jackson. He runs around. He's like, look at that person and look at that costume, and I'm gonna go ring this doorbell. So we actually have fun, but it is nice occasionally to have a little water bottle that looks like a water bottle that's not filled with water.
Hell yeah. So have you guys ever done like a family costume?
We did. What year was that? It was a while ago. We were all like, Kyle was dressed kind of like Spartacus, like Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had like a long Roman gown on. And what did Jackson have on? He had something. So yeah, we did it. I think that's the only time we really did it though, because Kyle's not always here. And
Yes.
a lot of times Jackson decides last minute. And a lot of times it's something that would have to be really elaborate. Like he's
Mhm.
he's a boy, so he loves superheroes. So he's been, Captain America, and what else has he been? He's been a stormtrooper. So it would be costumes that I actually have to put a lot of effort in, and it's not necessarily that I don't want to. It's just I'd
It's
rather like,
money.
yeah,
It's expensive.
right, exactly, and I'd rather use that money for something else. Like I'd rather spend it on him for Christmas or do something else than like have a costume that I'm gonna wear once.
Yeah, especially when you start talking like Star Wars. I feel like
Yeah.
because the Star Wars have like a lot of pieces and in plus the costume. And let's face it, Party City, all of the like almost everything is separate from the actual costume. It's like, yeah, for $50 you can get the clothing, but then you still have to go and get all of the accessories.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with, the Avengers and stuff too. If you want to be Spider-Man or the Hulk or Iron Man, like you have to get the costume, then you have to, of course, you have to have his power hands, or you have to have Thor's hammer. Like it just doesn't stop, and that's not something you can just whip together. I mean, I guess maybe you could if you're super, super creative and you have a lot of time on your hands, but Lord knows I don't.
Yep. Well, and then you'd have to be like my mom, who I think she planned out the few costumes that she made me. She didn't make me one every year, guys. She just made me a couple. She had me pick it out pretty much like the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And then she would create it in time. Like there was no changing your mind.
Yeah.
There was, I am making you a costume. These are all the costume books at Joanne Fabrics. What do you want to wear?
Yeah, see, Jackson will change his mind 60 times before Halloween comes, and then I buy the last one he tells me a week before Halloween because it changes too much.
Oh yeah. Well, at least you're not buying it a million times, returning it a million times, and then buying the one the week before, right?
Oh no, I wouldn't do that anyway. If I bought one, I'd be like, this is it. Are you sure? I'm buying this. If I'm buying this, that's fine. But this is it. There's not going to be another one. You can't change your mind. Maybe next year, but this is it. Like, are you sure?
Nice. And he was already sure. He found his assassin costume.
It is pretty cool. It even has like a hood that goes over his head and this really like cool mask.
Is trick-or-treating at like the military base different, or like do they have like different like protocols than regular neighborhoods, or is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same for the most part. The nice thing is PMO usually comes out, which is the military police, and they kind of keep an eye on the kids, and then they have their like own bag of candy. It's usually nothing spectacular, but it's still nice that they hand out like their own candy, and they just watch the kids.
So what is your favorite, like in your lifetime, what is your favorite Halloween memory?
Oh my Atlanta.
I know. I'm laying them on thick.
She
this
is. She's
week.
laying them on. Probably in college, just because, it's the time of your life, I have enjoyed, obviously, Halloweens with Jackson. They're just very different. So I've definitely enjoyed watching him grow and watching him finally learn to, like, ring the doorbell himself. Because, when they're little, he's like, I'm not ringing the doorbell.
I don't know how. I don't want to do this.
So those have been fun in a different way. But, like, for just me, myself, I definitely would say in college, going out and with all your friends and like dressing up as a big group together and entering a contest and drinking a whole bunch of beer. And
I guess I'm super lame because I didn't really. I mean, we had one apartment party, and it was the one hilarious thing that happened was there was like 15 Batmans. We
That's
were
awesome.
all laughing, and like there was like three girls, a couple of guys. We're all dressed up as Batman, and we even like did like a pumpkin carving contest because
Uh-huh.
I'm crazy, I guess, because I bought like a couple of pumpkins. It's like, come on, guys, let's carve some pumpkins. And we played Cards Against Humanity. But that was really my only like super college, Oh,
Oh
I think I
no.
did Jello shots.
We had a great old time, but I went to a school where Halloween was a huge deal. They actually closed down the school on Halloween because they had so many problems. Like people get so out of control. But then we just had unofficial Halloween. So them closing down on Halloween didn't really mean jack. We just moved it up a week.
That's so funny.
So it was
Well,
fun.
I guess it's different when you're for I wasn't in a university for 4 years.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely different.
it's a different experience because I mean, community college, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
just go, you get your stuff done and you leave.
so what's
But
so what's your top one then?
well, I would say that party is my top one, but at the same time, there's just one funny memory. When I was in community college, somebody dared me. They're like, "You're not going to show up in school." Like I was like making a joke that, I'll show up like fully decked out in like a princess costume, right?
Hmm.
And so I had a bunch of people dare me to. And I did. Like the next day, I wore my old prom dress. I put on a crown. I was like, I dressed up, bitches. And they were laughing their asses off. It was
That's awesome.
hilarious.
I love it.
Yes, I know. I'm so funny.
I don't think I
Uh,
ever dressed up going to class. It was just
but
afterwards.
it was like it was a class or two. I was like, I don't really care.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna go home.
Right. Yeah, because that's the beautiful thing about college. Your classes aren't all necessarily back to back. You got a break here, break there.
Yeah, I think my max college classes because you have like five. It's like two on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, two on Tuesday, Thursday. Like it really wasn't that
Yeah.
heavy. So I was like, okay, I'll do two classes, go home. I also, which I thought this was cute, they had a mall Halloween when I was working at the mall. And I dressed up again like a princess because there was a bunch of kids. I mean, it's all kids basically going to this. And I
Yeah.
had moms taking photos with me and their like little ones. They were like, "Why did you dress up?" I was like, "Cuz it's Halloween. Like I thought it would be like something a little different."
Yeah, that's fun.
They like they loved it though. Like all of the parents. I had a line of children to
I
give
love
out
it.
candy and like take pictures with me.
You're
So
famous.
I, I was for about like 20 kids. 20 kids were like, "Hey, remember that lady who dressed up as Cinderella?"
I remember when you're in high school, me and my four girlfriends dressed up like boys, and we had the greatest time. And we weren't even really necessarily doing anything, but just running around the neighborhood, dressed like boys, with saggy pants and backwards hats and getting candy. Like,
Why,
it was just
why do
fun.
I remember photos of that?
There might have been, I don't know.
I do remember like a
It,
Rihanna Halloween costume photo of that and thinking that that was
oh,
hilarious.
we had a blast. Like, we tucked all our hair up so, like, you couldn't see our hair. Like, it was fun. And every time we knocked on the door, they were laughing. I don't know. I guess even though it was like the simplest thing ever, they were like, "Oh, look at these girls pretending to be boys."
You know what I always wanted to do? So like in our neighborhood, in my mom's neighborhood, I should say, there were always like this group of kids that never dressed up but went door to door. And I was always like, "Mom, no, they're not dressed up. You can't give them candy." Like it always pissed me off. I really did just want to not give any of the kids who didn't dress up. I just did not want to give them
We
candy.
didn't. If people showed up at our door with no costumes on, I'd be like, "Yeah, can I help you?" They'd be like, "Trick or treat," and I'm like, "You don't have a costume on. I ain't giving you shit."
You do that? Great. I'm going to do it this year then. I'm going to be like, "Where's your costume?" Because there were a couple in this neighborhood too.
I mean, you risk getting egged, but who cares? Like, I'm not giving you free candy just because you came to my door. Like, you didn't put any effort into it. Get the hell out of here.
You,
At least
I
like put
mean,
some rabbit ears on your head or something. You could get those for 50 cents.
uh, and I mean, like, the bare minimum I've seen is like, okay, you just put on a mask when you get to the next house. Like, you could at least get a mask.
Yeah,
Come
you
on,
could do
you could do
something.
something.
Yeah. Like I said, cat ears are
Jinx.
usually in the dollar section at Target. So like you could throw in some cat ears and put eyeliner on your nose and some lashes,
Whiskers.
whiskers, and you'd be good. Like that would cost you $1. And I will give you some candy because you at least made some sort of effort. But coming to my door in literally your street clothes, trying to get candy, no.
Oh,
You are
see,
not that cool.
I guess you're meaner than my mom, because my mom was just like, just do it. I just want to get them off my porch and to leave us alone. Because they would come at the 9th hour,
Of
hoping
course.
that you're going to dump all of your candy in their bags, because that did happen in our neighborhood. Like, I
Of course.
remember for sure going out like the last half hour and getting just like handfuls of candy
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because they wanted to get rid of it.
Those kids aren't dumb, and some people are afraid to get TP'd or egged or whatever, so they're just like, okay, here you go. But I don't care.
I wouldn't either, honestly. Last year it was snowing. It was like our first Halloween in this house, and it was snowing.
Mm-hmm.
And well, at least the first one that I was home for. I think the following year, like, I wasn't home, and I don't know if there weren't many kids or if Tom wasn't home. I don't really particularly remember.
The year before I was still living there, and it was actually pretty nice on Halloween that year.
I wasn't home. That's
How
all
dare you?
I know. I was at work probably.
How dare you?
Anyway, so then like last year's like my first time, like, oh, I get to hand out candy.
Mm-hmm.
And like nobody would risk going up our stairs because it was so snowy and icy.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we don't have that problem this year.
Put salt down.
Well, we did put salt down, but even still, like, it was just so cold. There were barely 2 children out there to begin with.
Yep. I remember always going no matter what. I remember going with you guys a lot. You and Mitchell and Luke. My mom would drive me over to Grandma's neighborhood. We would meet in Grandma's neighborhood and go around.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to
I don't really remember.
We'd have to flash people, like you flash open your winter coat and go, trick or treat.
Trick or treat. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they could see your costume for 5 seconds, and you rebundle it up because it's so freaking cold.
Yep. Welcome to Illinois.
Yeah, not everybody has to suffer the same things that we did for candy.
Exactly. And I remember hating all of the kids that their parents would just drive them around in their cars. I was like, that's cheating. You need to suffer for your candy.
No, thank you.
Oh, no, I know. I don't want to do that now. I probably would be that mom to be like, it's cold out. I'm going to drive around in the car and follow you guys. And when you need to warm up, you can come in the car.
No, I'm totally going to be the mom that says, you better bundle up and get it while you can, because I ain't driving you. Go toughen it out.
Right? If you want it that bad, go get it.
Put on your hat and your scarf and your mittens. You'll be fine.
Yep. Well, luckily Jackson doesn't really have to deal with that. And I also remember that year, like, so I have I don't really decorate the house for Halloween too much. I just have mums going down like my staircase, and I have decorations on like the inside of my house, just not a ton on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, like, because it snowed on Halloween, Tom's like, well, the mums didn't really like last year. I'm like, yeah, that's because it snowed. Like, they didn't because he's like, wow, our mums this year look really great. I'm like, yeah, that's because the weather's been awesome. Versus last year, it snowed.
Yeah, I don't really decorate for Halloween because we had decorations, and I feel like every time we move, something happens to them. So I'm tired of buying them. Eventually, when we stop moving for a while, I will get some more. But yeah, I look around the neighborhood, and houses are either like us. There's nothing, or they're balls to the walls. So it's kind of funny. People are one or the other.
That is kind of funny. I think I don't know. I like decorating outside for more of like fall. Like, I'll get some pumpkins, and I'll put pumpkins down our stairway. And I have like a pumpkin wreath, but like, I just like if it's like fall, I can decorate for October and November, get some more time out of it. And the only decoration that I was like, holy shit, I would totally do this at the next house is this house down the street from mine. It's way 2 times bigger than my house. Absolutely hilarious. They have like 6 skeletons, like full-size skeletons, looking like they're breaking into their house. I was like, I love it. They have like one draped down from like their gutters. They have one like hanging off their windows. I'm like, this is my kind of house. I absolutely love it.
It must be the new thing because there's like 2 or 3 houses in my neighborhood that have done the same thing.
I was like, this is the kind of decoration
Somebody must have saw it on Pinterest or something, and now it's all the rage.
Probably. I saw it. I was like, this is great. I've never seen anything like it. That's hilarious.
I like it.
I did too. So we're on the same page with not really decorating much. Do you have any other like Halloween traditions?
No, not really. We're not exciting. We go trick-or-treating. That's it.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm hoping now that I work from Dell that like I can give out candy. I'd like to dress up to give out candy every year, but we'll see. I've always also really wanted to dress up as the Sanderson sisters, but I do not have 2 other friends to dress up with me. So
I used to sit and give candy, and I loved seeing all the kids coming. But now that I have Jackson, obviously I have to take him. When he's older, I can go back to giving out candy. But right now I don't even know. Maybe coming this year and next year, he might be able to. If he's with a couple of buddies, I'd be okay with it. And just in our neighborhood, because our neighborhood is small enough. But yeah, I like giving out to the kids because it's cool to see them all come and see what they dress up as and how dedicated they are to it.
For sure. And like some of the homemade costumes versus like the store-bought ones are always fun. Or like ones that think more outside the box, where it's not a particular costume that you bought at the store. You just kind of, like how I did, pieced it together with the wardrobe you already have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Oh, so other great Halloween topic. Halloween movies. What do you have to watch during the Halloween season?
I don't know if I have anything that I like have to watch, but we usually watch, most of the classics. We watch Beetlejuice and Casper and what's this? I can't think right now. What's the Sanderson sister movie?
Hocus Pocus.
There you go. Hocus Pocus. I don't know why it like totally escaped me there for a minute. And I think that's it really. Those are our 3 big ones. I love Beetlejuice. It's so silly, but I love that stupid movie.
Oh, that is a good movie. We just watched, or I just watched Addams Family, the original one.
Oh, yeah, the original one is the good one. And I myself like to just watch scary movies in general. Like, I'll watch scary movies just myself, with it, obviously without Jackson. He's not going to be watching scary movies. So I just like to go through and...
I know. I think
I just rewatched Amityville Horror, the new one the newer one. It's not really new anymore, with Ryan Reynolds.
You're stealing my Sunday. I think Sunday I have the Amityville Horror, Nightmare on Elm Street, and another one. I can't remember which one.
Well, Nightmare on Elm Street's a classic, and I just watched Winchester, which is a newer one.
Oh, that one's good. I liked that one.
Yeah, it was actually really good, which is kind of surprising because newer scary movies usually aren't very good anymore. And
they're really hit or miss, right?
Yeah,
at least they are for me.
And I just finished watching last week. I binged the whole thing in like 3 days, The Haunting of Bly Manor.
I am on episode like 6. I don't know.
It was so good. I loved it.
I like it, but I feel like I'm going to have to watch it again. Because it's like I kind of get like what's going on and stuff, but I feel like I'm missing little things.
What episode did you say you're on?
Like 5.
I think you've got one more and you're going to get a lot explained to you.
Okay.
It's really good.
Then maybe I just have to keep trekking. But as far as I can tell, I'm pretty sure everybody's dead.
It's
So
definitely one you have to pay attention to. There is a lot going on and there's a lot of subplots. And yeah, it sounds like you've got the general gist of it. So you'll see. They'll definitely
pretty
show
sure.
you. There's an episode that they go over like everything.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will keep watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like because I know for like the first 3-ish episodes, I feel like I wasn't paying enough attention that I should, like, because you know
Yeah.
how it is these days with like phones. You're just kind of like on it, you're semi paying attention, you don't know if you want to. Tom's reaction to it was absolutely hysterical. He's like, I don't like this accent that they have going on. I'm like, you mean being British? He's like, yep, I don't like it.
Well, in
And
the
then he was
first
pretty much done within the second episode.
well, in the first 3 episodes, like focus more on Danny and then it kind of totally changes gears. So,
Yeah,
yeah, you have to
that is
watch it.
true.
It's really good. I really enjoyed it. And, yeah, I've just been watching other scary movies, Dead Silence.
Oh, I love
Um,
Dead Silence.
yeah, what else have I watched? Just a
Do you
lot of
have
like older
do you have a
stuff.
do you have a favorite scary movie?
Oh gosh, that's hard because there's a lot of good ones. I love the original Poltergeist, like the original one from like what is it, 1989 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to think about it for a minute because there's a lot of older ones that are good. I love Hitchcock movies, so like Rear Window, the original Psycho.
They just redid a Hitchcock movie on Netflix.
Which one?
Rebecca.
Oh,
Rebecca?
really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to watch it.
I started watching it and while I was working, and then I was like, no, I think I need to like actually pay attention to it. Like I'm just not
Yeah.
going to have it on for background noise because that's normally what it ends up being is like whatever I
Yeah.
put on is just kind of background noise. Like no, I think I actually kind of want to pay attention to this, so I turned it off like about 30 minutes in. I was like, no, I
Yeah.
will when I attention.
I like the older movies because they not only are scary, but they like they're mentally scary. They mess with your head. They're not just all about gore. Not that I don't like gory movies, but they're more they get to you more.
It's like more like multi-dimensional kind of.
Yeah.
They have more depth to it. It's not
Yeah.
just I'm trying to get a cheap scare from you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think. Yeah, and like Nightmare on Elm Street's a great one.
Oh yeah.
Um the Exorcist, of
Halloween.
course. Yeah, Halloween, the original Exorcist from 73.
I also didn't even really mind the new Halloween either. We watched that I think last year. We haven't watched it
Whoever
again, but
they picked, or maybe it wasn't even who they picked, or maybe it was just how they filmed, they made him look huge. Michael Myers looked like a giant.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it
But
was the
isn't that the
person.
point?
Yeah, but in the original Halloween, he looked essentially looked like a normal person. In the new one, he looks giant. He's like Sasquatch. He's huge.
Yeah, I don't really remember. Because it's been like a year, but I remember liking it. I especially liked that they had Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
Yeah, that
I was
she
like,
was back.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because imagine if they tried to change that, that
Oh
would
yeah.
be absolute. Like, nobody would watch it. They'd be like, you're fucking garbage. The end. Goodbye.
Well, she's not the queen of Scream for no reason.
Hell yeah.
Well,
I
and
like her. Sorry.
another one that's way up there that I think is in my top movies anyway is Alien. Alien is a great movie. Sigourney Weaver.
I think that's like one that I have not watched.
You should. Alien is a great movie. Not Aliens, the first one, just Alien. It's a
Alien.
great movie.
Yeah, I was also really young when it came out, so that might be one of the reasons. And so, like, my girlfriend, who I always watch scary movies with, she was not into sci-fi. So I think, like, it ended up kind of getting, like, skipped over because she was not at all into sci-fi, and that's, like, a sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
So,
well,
then I just never ended up watching it.
Well, and it came out before even my time. It came out in, like, 79. It's an older movie, but it's really good. So yeah, there you go. There's one for you to watch before the end of Halloween.
Halloween. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're gonna be watching we're gonna have like a Halloween movie, scary movie marathon, I think, on Sunday. It's like one of Tom's favorite genres. So we at least
Yeah.
try to watch like all of like the new scary movies, and they're hit or miss. Like
Yeah.
I think there was the Curse of La Lorena or whatever is a newer one. And we could not make it like halfway. No, I can't remember if we made it all the way through and just didn't like it, or if we made it halfway through and we're like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous. Like I couldn't remember what happened, but
Yeah.
either way, we did not. We were not a fan, and other people in our family were like, "This is awesome." I was like, "Is it though?"
Yeah, it's one of my favorite genres too, so I try to watch a lot of it. I remember when Scream came out because that came out when I was like
Oh, that's another good one.
10. Yeah. So it was like the scariest thing ever to a 10-year-old.
Well, hell yeah. I remember the only thing that I remember from scary movies when I was little is that my brother scared the fridge out of me with Chucky.
Yeah, that's another one.
Chucky, but you know what's weird is they scared me with Chucky, and I don't remember how old I was when I watched Bride of Chucky, but I ended up really liking Bride of Chucky. I don't know why.
I could see that.
But I remember originally, like, it scared the bejesus. I was like, oh, this is horrible.
I think that's why I like Poltergeist because Poltergeist was another one. Like I saw it when I was pretty little, and it like when that little girl got sucked into the TV, I was like, huh, huh.
Like, what is going on? I don't like this at all.
Yeah, this is terrible.
I think we were trying to watch Poltergeist the other night, but we had like friends over, so
Well, and there's a new one too. They redid it.
maybe that was the problem.
Maybe.
I think we were watching the newer one because it was what was available on like Hulu or Netflix, one or the
Yeah.
other. We
No,
just turned on a movie and it was basically background noise.
No, you gotta watch the original.
But I do absolutely love the Conjuring movies. Those are the shit.
Yeah, The
I
Conjuring
mean, I know that
and Annabelle and yeah.
yes. Even though those are newer, they're so good.
I think it's too. It helps that it's based on like true stories and like true inspirations.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it gives it an extra twist. But yeah, I really like them too. The first Conjuring and the second one are really good. They're good.
So
Recap?
are we done with this? I don't even know if this needs a recap. It's just more of a happy Halloween, guys,
All right.
right?
Happy Halloween and
So this is how to deal when shit gets real. Don't forget to check us out on socials, and we will see you next week. Happy Halloween. Be sure to keep it real, my friends.